Hello, good morning. Welcome to Totally Beads. I hope you're doing well. I have had an update. So all of my settings are slightly different, and I'm hoping all the sound and the camera and the flipping between boxes and whatnot works okay today. So I hope you're well. Today I'm going to be doing lovely little gemstone earrings with you. I've got 5 different pairs, and it's going to be using a chainmaille technique. So I'm going to be doing like a Byzantine weave, creating 2 sections of those and dangling a beautiful gemstone in the center of those. So I'll take you over to the website if all is working okay, and I will show you the lovely kits that you can buy today. If you want to make along with me, you can head over to the website, which is totallybeads.co.uk, and there you can buy your lovely kits and you can make what I'm making. I'm getting some comments in, so that's really great. It looks like everything's working. I've got Anastasia in and I've got Lisa in as well, so I hope you're all doing okay. Good morning to you, Carol. So let's go over to the website. Let's see everything works as it should do. So we are totallybeads.co.uk. If you head into any of our video tutorial sections here or here, you can go down and scroll and find the Catriona gemstone earrings, which is what we're doing today. What I will say is these look much better in than when they're laying flat, because the tension of the bead will make the jump rings sit as they should do. So my picture quality, I don't think is doing it justice. We've got the Amazonite, the obsidian, the rose quartz. Sorry, we've got gold obsidian. It's got beautiful gold sheen to it. We've got rose quartz, we've got sodalite, and we've got white howlite as well. These kits are only £2.99, and it makes 2 pairs of earrings up. So for £3, you can make 2 pairs of gemstone earrings. And I've got quite a nice large bead in there as well. So you're going to get all of your jump rings, your earring hooks, your eye pin, and you're also going to get your gemstone round beads. If I scroll down, you can see I'm using the 8mm size round beads, the gemstones, and I'm using the champagne gold with the Amazonite ones. So I'm using different metals. If you wanted to multi-buy, you could, of course, mix your metals as well. I think mixed metal jewellery is very, very lovely. So you might want to use, I don't know, maybe the silver with the champagne gold or the rose gold. You might want to incorporate some of those jump rings in if you want to. The jump rings I'm using are a 6x1 outer diameter measurement, and that is the beautiful Amazonite pair that I've got for you there. Again, all of the beads are beautiful gemstones and 8mm in size. These are the gold obsidian ones for you. You can see they do look much better when they're in, and I will show you them down on the map, or I will show you them in my ear as well, so you can see how they hang, and you can see these beautiful gemstone beads that we've got. So with the gold obsidian, you can see there it's got beautiful gold kind of sheen to it, and I'm using the gold plated 6x1 outer diameter jump rings with those ones. So you're going to get enough to make 2 pairs of earrings. We've got the gorgeous rose quartz, which of course I've put on the rose gold coloured jump rings, and your ear wires and your eye pin matches that colour as well. So that's them laying flat. They're really pretty earrings and very straightforward to do. If you've not done chainmaille before, I'm fairly new to it as well, and I do love using kind of like a Byzantine weave. It's probably one of my favourites. You can create lots of different kind of techniques to frame what you're using, and they're the rose quartz for you. Really pretty, lovely quartz. All of our earring hooks are nickel free as well, if that's something that you're interested in. So the Catriona gemstone earrings on the sodalite, which is like a beautiful deep blue colour. Obviously every gemstone is slightly different, so you might have more sodalite with more of kind of like a white marbling in it as well. That's how they look for you. And there's the sodalite there, and they're on the silver plated findings and jump rings. And we've also got the white howlite, which has like a beautiful kind of grey marbled effect over them. and they are on the rhodium findings. So in each kit, you're going to get enough to make 2 pairs of earrings. So you'll get 4 beautiful 8mm gemstone round beads, and you're going to get all the jump rings and ear wires and eye pin. It's an eye pin that you're going to need to make that lovely little connection as well. So hopefully I've got a bit of something for everyone. Whatever metal colour your favourite is, then there should be a gemstone to match that for you. So head over to the website if you would like to get your hands on them. Let's see if I can stop sharing a page. It's going to be very confusing for me today. That's not the one I want. I thought I'll do the, do I hide it? I mean, I could just bring them up. And hopefully, I don't really want this on the bottom though. Let's see. Do bear with me. I don't like change. It's meant to be all easy that I could just swap around from side to side. I'm just gonna click hide on that for now. There you go. So these are our lovely gemstone earrings. Let me say good morning to you all. Good morning to Rachel. Hello to Camille. She says blue skies but cold here. Hope you're well. I'm not feeling too bad. I've got a little bit of a cold, I think, as you can probably hear in my voice. But I'm feeling all right. My throat isn't really sore. I did some walking yesterday, got myself some fresh air, and I think that blew the cobwebs away. Good morning to Jean, all the way from Illinois. I hope you're well. Good morning to Phoenix Creations. How are you, my lovely? Susan as well. She says she's on the M5 heading to Cornwall for the week. Ooh, beautiful sunshine but cold. So have a lovely, lovely time. Hello to Pauline. Good morning to Anne, who's in a sunny Perth. Jackie's here, as is Elaine. Jan's in a sunny Sudbury. Good morning to Kath. Phoenix Creations is saying hello to my mummy. Good morning to Judith in West Lothian, where the sun's shining. I think it'll take me a little while to figure it out. Phoenix Creation says new tech is sent to fill your day with mischief. It's been telling me for months we're having a new update, and I've gone okay, and it's like, would you like to update? And I've gone no, and it's just done it anyway. It looks like everything should be the same. Apparently it's easier, but we'll see. So these are the gemstone earrings. I've got the gold here for you with the gold obsidian. So your gold obsidian is predominantly black, but it does have a gold sheen on it, and I've put those with the gold findings. We've got the beautiful rose quartz. See, when you can see when I lift it up, how it just hangs better than when it's flat, and those kind of little cages kind of collapse almost. So when they're in, that gemstone will just pull that weave down. So they are the rose quartz on your rose gold earring findings. They're not too large either. So if I was going from the tip of the hook, it would measure around 4 centimeters, I would say. That's with the hook. Your actual weave and gemstone is around 2 centimeters. For those of you that work in inches, it's about 1 inch from the gemstone and the weave, and with the earring hook, it's about 1.5 inches. So they're not massive. They are nice, and they're not too heavy either. Just throwing the ruler on the floor, but I don't think I need it. We've got the gorgeous Sodalite. Now this really does change. I mean, all gemstones are different. They'll all have a different kind of hue to them, I suppose. If I had a couple of extras out, I would show you how you can get that white marbling effect. But the two that I've picked here, which have kind of been colour matched, are very blue and very lovely. They're on the silver findings and jump rings. So your jump rings are your 6x1, and all you need are your jump rings, one little eye pin, and an earring hook for each earring. Then we have the gorgeous white howlite. So you can see they've got a little bit of like a marbling effect on it. You see those little kind of grey veins running through. And they're on rhodium plated findings. And then on the champagne gold, which is what I'm going to demo, I think, for you today. I might do one of each, depending on the time. We've got that gorgeous Amazonite. If you can see the Amazonite colours that I've got there for you. Really, really pretty. Good morning, Edward. Long time no see. I hope you're doing well. Hello to Sheila as well. That gold would be stunning with green goldstone. I've made emerald crystal heart earrings with a bead bail, which has a green goldstone accent. And oh my, it looks stunning with the gold beads, says Phoenix Creations. You know me, I love a gemstone. And I'm quite taken with chainmaille as well. I think you can get some really lovely effects really quickly. And it's not hard to do. So in terms of my tools that I'm going to need today, I'm going to take 2 pairs of pliers. I'm just using 2 pairs of chain nose pliers. Any will do, as long as they've got that flat inside. You can get a jump ring opener as well, which is like a little ring that fits on your finger. Use whatever's most comfortable. For me, I prefer working with 2 pairs of pliers. So I'm going for the chain nose, but you can go for flat nose as well. When it comes to creating my connection for my gemstone, I'm going to want a little pair of round nose pliers, just so I can turn a loop on the opposite side to attach it onto, and some wire cutters. And that's pretty much it, all I'm going to need for tools. In terms of my components, I'm going to need my beads. For one section of the Byzantine weave, I use 14 jump rings. So you're going to need 2 lots of that, and then an additional 2 jump rings to attach to the earring hook at the top. And then, of course, you're going to need your eye pin with the earring hooks. So you don't need much, nice minimalist materials really. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start by making a little pile of jump rings. So I'm going to use 14 for my weave, and how I like to start mine off is by having a pile of 12 open and ready, and then 2 perfectly closed. So your jump rings, when a jump ring is made, you take a wire, this being 1mm in thickness, so it's nice, and that's 18 gauge for those that work in gauge measurements. It's a nice, robust size, but you'll see it slightly crosses. So how it's made is it's just wrapped around a long dowel, and then they're sewn in the middle. You can make your own jump rings, but for the cost of them, I really would use Totally Beads ones, they're really good. So you can see that's perfectly closed. So when I'm opening it, I'm just taking those 2 pairs of pliers and I'm giving a little turn towards me, not too much, just a little bit. And the reason why we don't open it too much is the more I open this, then you can see it will put a weakness on the bottom. So the more I wiggle and open and close it, the more stress we're going to put on this point here. I don't need to open it up too much for this design, but it's nice to have my pile ready to go, because then I don't have to pick it up and put it down too much. So you can see I'm just going through my little pile, and I'm just going to give it a little turn. I then tend to close it back on itself just to make sure that it's fully aligned. And then I'll just give it a little turn towards me. So you can open your jump rings towards you or away from you, but I like to open mine towards me. What we don't want to do is we don't want to open it outwards. We don't want to distort this perfectly round shape, because what's going to happen is it's going to make the shape more kind of oval, not fully rounded, and then we're going to struggle to get it to close fully. So I'm just going to open a little pile of my jump rings and prep this in advance, and then I'm going to have 2 perfectly closed as well. So when I close my jump ring, I give it a little turn open, and then I take it back to the point where those 2 pieces align. Hopefully you can see that. Sometimes I might take it slightly past the point where those 2 pieces meet, and then it's got like a good memory to it, so it should spring back fully closed. So I'm going to start off with my 2 fully closed rings. And then I'm going to take my open ones. Now, if you want to give yourself something to grip onto, you can take a little piece of scrap wire or a larger jump ring or something, and you can put your closed jump rings onto that just to give you something to hold on to. I don't usually bother, to be honest, but if you need to give yourself a little bit of purchase, then pop it on a little bit of thread or like a key ring or something, just to kind of keep that something to hold on to. So they're my 2 fully closed. I'm going to pick up one of my open jump rings and I'm going to slide that through both of the closed rings. And then I'm going to close that over. So I'm making sure that they're fully closed each time. Don't know whether you could hear that. I did give a nice little click. I know it will probably struggle to focus the camera, so I will talk you through it. And we've got to do this twice. Now, if I've got my little pile already open, I can just pick up with the little end that's sticking up towards me off the mat. And I'm going to slide the next one through. So my rule with this is I always need 3 pairs, and I'm always going to double up. So I'm always going to have a pair. So you can see now I've just got 2 on 2. And then I'm going to take another one. And I'm going to bring that through the last 2. And I'm going to close that up as well. And then another one, because I always want 2 together, always want a pair. So I'm sliding that through, just through the centre of those middle ones. And then I'm just going to close it up. So let's see if I can get that to focus so you can see. So I've got 3 pairs of jump rings, 6 in total, all just linked on together. Now, the clever bit, I'm going to pinch these bottom 2 and I'm going to take a little eye pin. Now, you're going to have these in your kits because we're going to use them to attach our gemstone on the end. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flip those last 2 out. And then the ones in the middle, I'm going to open out the other way. And then with my pin, I'm just going to lift up the centre. So hopefully you can see that nice and clear. I'll do it again for you. So I'm flipping the last 2 out. So one on one side and one on the other. I'm opening up those middle bits. And then I'm just scooping with the pin just to catch that inside. So it looks like this. And you can leave the pin in, but sometimes just pushing on it will just keep that little bit exposed. And then I'm going to come in with one of my other open jump rings and I'm going to catch that centre and close that over. But of course we always want 2. So I'm going to take another jump ring and I'm going to slide that in through next to it and close that over. So if I pop my pin in just to pull it so you can see, I've created this little section. And this pair here, this last pair that I've put on, is going to be my first set for the next pair to attach onto. So again, I'm going to take and slide on through and close it over and take another one and put it in exactly the same place just next to it. So this will now be my second pair. And then my third pair is just going to attach on to those last 2. And now I'm going to do exactly the same with those last 3 pairs of jump rings. You can get rid of this bit if you want to. So I'm pinching it between my fingers. They're already falling open, those last pair. Opening out the middle. So those 2 open up. Those 2 open out. And I'm just catching, it is that last pair that's on, but it's just the inside of the ring. Again, you can keep that pin in if you want to, just so you've got that little space opened up. That's where I'm putting that next jump ring through. I want to make sure my jump ring's fully closed. And then the next one is going to go right next to it. So I'm hooking in between. And I'm just closing that over. So you'll see I've now created that. And that's my first little section of my Byzantine weave. So if I show you the earring, we've just created that section there, and we're just going to do exactly the same to make the second section. Really straightforward. So I'm going to take 14 jump rings, I'm going to have 12 open, and I'm going to have 2 closed. So let's just open them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Little turn towards me. Just make sure that they were closed fully. So that's my 12 open, and then my 2 closed. So I start with my 2 closed, but you don't have to. You could take an open one and hook your 2 closed through the middle if you prefer to work like that. We're going to close them all up anyway. Always doubling up. So I've now got my 2 on 2. Adding on my 3rd pair. And you can see, because they're already open, I can just pick that up off the table quite easily without having to pick up and put down my work. So I've got my 3 links. I might just pop that back on just so I can hold it up for you easily, so my fingers aren't going to be in the way. So 3 pairs of jump rings. I'm going to let the last 2 fall outwards. I'm going to open up those middle ones, and then I'm just catching. So I'm scooping up underneath, and that just catches the inside of those outer jump rings and pushes back to almost make like a little knot. Hopefully that's nice and clear and you can see it. I often leave my pin in just to keep that space open so I can hook through my next jump ring. And then close that one over. And again, picking up another one, we always double up, sliding that through that same little gap. Just put the pin back in just to show you how it looks. This is my first pair because we always work in threes. So second pair is going to hook on. Really straightforward. If you've not done chainmail, give it a go. It looks complicated. I promise you it's really not. I find it really enjoyable. So I'm just about to attach my last pair onto this. And there's lots of different chainmail weaves that you can do. Our box weave is quite similar. There's loads. Once you get going, a whole new world of jewellery opens up for you. So there we go. We've got that next 3 sets of links. This one, the middle, and this one. And then I'm just going to do that little flip and flop technique. So the last 2, we're going to open out, just giving it a little pinch to keep it in position. Let me just do that again because I'm holding it at an angle. So I'm flipping the last pair out, opening up those 2 in the middle, just so I can catch. Got to take both of them. Just the inside there. And then if I push down on that, it should keep that open anyway. I should be able to take that pin out if I need to. But I think the pin will just keep that little section open for me to get that jump ring through. Make sure it's closed. And then of course we always double up. So I'm just popping that last one next to it. Camille says flip, flop, poke. Yeah, pretty much. That's the technique. So again, I'm just putting the pin in just to show you how it's looking. So I've got those 2 sections now. So what I do is I'm going to take another pair of jump rings. And I'm going to take the last 2, any of the 2, and I'm going to slide that on through both of them to join together. And close. But again, we're working in pairs, so I'm going to do the same with the other one. Now, because I hadn't already prepped my jump ring, I'm having to pop my work down now. Not the end of the world, but it just speeds up. So I'm taking those 4 jump rings essentially and linking them together like that. Now these 2 jump rings that I've just added on is what I'm going to attach my e-ring hook to. So to attach my e-ring hook, I'm just going to get it out of my kit, and where that little end is, I'm just going to give that a little flick up, just like a jump ring too. And I'm going to attach it on to those middle 2 jump rings that attach the weaves together, and then close it back down. So it's looking like this. Your jump rings will move, they will flip and they will flop out of shape until I've attached my eye pin at the bottom with the gemstone on. So I've already got a little loop. You'll get possibly the smaller ones. You only need, I think these are 30mm in size in your kit. You might get a 50mm one, I'm not sure. They all work the same. But what you want to make sure is you want to make sure that this loop here that's already formed will fit comfortably around those two. You shouldn't need to enlarge it, but if you did need to make it bigger, all you would need to do is use your round nose, pop your round nose in and make that larger, make that loop a little bit larger, and then center it again. But we'll see if it comes to size already. It should be okay. And you can do this by doing your gemstone and a double connector first, or you can attach on and then add your gemstone. It really doesn't matter. So I'm just attaching that onto the last two links. So those last two jump rings, and I'm bending it back down closed. And then I'm going to attach my gorgeous, in this case, Amazonite gemstone on. I'm sliding that onto my pin. Now I'm being conscious of which way this loop is sitted because I'd like them to sit evenly. So I'm going to bend my pin horizontally, so it will, when I turn my loop, it sits in the same direction as that loop here. And I want it nice and close to the gemstone bead. I'm not making a wrap loop, so I don't need space between the bead. So almost horizontally, doesn't have to be full 90 degrees, but just to create that bend in it. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to cut off, because I only need a fairly small loop. So I'm going to leave around 1 centimetre between from the bead, so from that bend to here. I'm going to just cut off with my cutters, just trim a little of that excess off. And then with my round nose pliers, I'm going to measure. If you want to make sure your loop is exactly the same on each side, take the first loop on your pin and just measure it onto whereabout you've, or on your pliers, that will turn. This one should be slightly smaller, so I'm going to put it here. I'm going to keep it nice and flush. There's no pin sticking out between my pliers. If it is, it won't all fully turn, so I'm keeping it nice and flush. And then I'm just going to give it a little flick, reposition my hand, and then turn that loop all the way round. You can straighten it up if need be. So now I've got that double-ended connector on my gemstone. You can do that before attaching it onto your chain if you want to, that's no problem. Just going to make sure that I'm using the last pair, so they'll need flicking up because they've caught themselves slightly. There you go. So just be conscious that you're getting your weave on your chain to be in the position you want to. You want it to be these last two rings here that you're attaching it to. So we're going to just give it a little flick up on the opening of that pin. And then I'm just going to attach on. So sometimes you might want to push your bead down out of the way and just hook that through those last two jump rings. And then close over by just giving it a little flick back. And you can see if I've got my weave in the right direction, I've made my next little e-ring. It's not quite sitting flush there, and I'm not sure whether it's the angle I've attached that one on, so I'm just going to tweak it. So all I'm doing here is just opening up. I think I've just slightly twisted my chain as I popped it on. It's a bit typical really, isn't it? Not had that issue until I've come to do it live. So I'm just hooking that loop around the gemstone, off from the gemstone around those ear wires and closing it over. There you go. So, shall I do another quick one? Because we've got quite a little bit of time. I'll do the Sodalite one. I'm just going to get my rings out. I have a lovely Sodalite bead here. So we will do the same. So opening up 12 and keeping 2 closed. Oh, I haven't got an eye pin. Oh no, I do. Okay. Just magically got 14 jump rings out, I think, there. So I'm just having 2 closed. Probably do all my jump rings first, but we'll just do one section for now. So if you want to give yourself something to hold on to, you can take a little scrap piece of wire, and I'm just going to pop on my 2 fully closed jump rings to give myself a little bit of purchase. Morning, Anne. I hope you're well. Oh, I hope your cat's okay. I'm just going to fold that little bit over, just so it gives me something to hold on to. You can use anything you want. You don't even have to use it, but I just feel like it gives me something to grip onto and keeps those jump rings exposed and open. So I'm taking an open jump ring and I'm hooking on through those 2. Let's see how quick we can do this one. And I'm closing it over. Always making sure my jump rings are fully closed. We don't want them to be snagging on anything. We want it nice and smooth, so it's comfortable to wear. Taking my next jump ring and I'm adding that on through the same 2 because we're doubling up. So each time I've got pairs of jump rings, and I'm always going to go for 3 pairs of jump rings before I make my first little knotted section of the Byzantine. So this is my 3rd pair. Sliding that on through the middle and closing it over. I'm only popping the pin in just so you can see. Hopefully this is nice and clear. So I am flipping the last 2 out, opening up the middle so I can catch those last 2 in the centre. Does sometimes flip. So I'm not touching those first pair. It's basically just the inside of the last pair that I'm catching. Keep the pin in if you want to. Might be a better contrast having the silver with using the gold pin so you can just see where I'm catching that. Taking that open jump ring and sliding it through that little centre here. Oh. So you can see, do it without the pin if you want to. I just think it makes it a little bit easier. Taking another one because we always double up. So if I push down on those jump rings, that kind of keeps them in position. And this pair that I'm putting on now becomes the first pair of that next 3. With that jump ring I'm not happy is fully perfectly closed and aligned. So I'm just going to reposition it. Take your time with it, make it nice and neat. That's much better. So my next pair, lovely satisfying click lets you know that it's fully closed. So I've essentially got my 2 on 2. I'm going to go for another pair on those last ones. Give a little wiggle if it won't fully close, just to make sure that it's back aligned with itself. And then we've got those 3 here. So we're going to open out, and catch through the centre. Trying to get the angle right under the camera doesn't really help. There you go. Phoenix said, I used my grand's hat pins. Hubby took the point off and made it safe. Now it lives in my toolbox. That's a good idea. I just think you've got your eye pin anyway in your kit. So I just utilise that really. But yeah, anything will do. As long as it doesn't need to be sharp, it just needs to be able to just catch that little space in between. I'm probably making it look a little more complicated than it is. So that's my first section, using 14 jump rings. We need to do the other side. Hat pins are amazing for so many things, says Judith. Do you know, that's something we've not really made on Totally Beads. I am planning my next load of live tutorials at the minute, so if there's any suggestions you think I'd really like to do that, then let me know and I'll see what I can do. A hat pin might be the thing. Do you really wear them very often? Don't really wear a hat personally. We don't really do many brooches though either, do we? Maybe I'll do a brooch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we need 12 open. And I like to have 2 perfectly closed. Just making sure it's nicely aligned. Again, attach it onto something if it's easy, just to give you that little bit of grip. Little bit of thread or a larger jump ring or a key ring or something. So always wanting 3 pairs of jump rings to start us off. Slide in the second pair onto the first, and the third pair onto the last. Taking your time to make sure that they're nicely closed. Flipping the outer 2, opening up the middle 2, catching the inside, in the middle. Adding on my next pair. Making sure that's fully closed. So they don't take very long at all to make. That middle ones that I've just caught in the centre is now my first pair again. Attaching on the second and then the third. And then I pinch them between my thumb and my finger just to let them drop. And then catch, open out those middle ones. You can just push them down and then it should expose it a little bit. Once one jump ring's in, you should be able to get the next one just next to it. So it would look nice mixed metals. I probably should have demoed mixed metals just so you can really see which ones I'm catching. But we've done this weave before, so if you are struggling with it, maybe have a little look at some of our previous videos. So I'm just attaching those two sections together with an extra pair of jump rings. You can just add the one jump ring on, but as we've used pairs on everything, I'm just doubling that up as well. Going to take my earring hook and open it up. I'm just going to attach it onto those two in the middle there. And close that down, making sure my weave's as I want it to be. And then I'm going to take my pin, slide on my bead. You can make that a little bit wider if you need to, just because I don't want those two jump rings being squished together. So I'm just going to open it up slightly. You can see I've got that P shape now. I want to adjust it so I've got that nice eye shape with that loop sitting fully on the top. Going to slide on my bead, and you can attach it now or you can do it after, doesn't matter. I'm going to give my pin a bend, so I want that loop facing up. Bend it whichever way you want. And now chop off that excess. I only want about 1 centimetre. Keep hold of the end of the pin so it doesn't fire away. Making sure it's nice and flush in my round nose pliers. I'm going to give it a little flick up, reposition my hand and turn that loop all the way around so it's fully closed. So you can see my loops are travelling in the right or the same direction as each other. And if they're not, you can give them a little twist with your pliers if need be to kind of neaten them up. I'm going to flick it open so I can attach it onto the last 2 jump rings and close it down. And then I'm going to open up the other section on the other side and do exactly the same. So you can lay it flat if need be, just to hook that through those last 2, and then make sure I'm closing that down. And then that is my earring ready to go. Rachel says, a simple design but elegant. Love these. Thank you very much. I will put one in my ear, I think, if I can. Where are you going? What's that about? Hello. Hey. So you can see this is the one I've made. You can see they're not too large, but they do hang nice. It's difficult to show you them flat because, well, gravity helps with an earring, isn't it? They're meant to be worn. There you go. So, for your Catriona gemstone earrings today, we are making 2 pairs in each kit. You can have the Amazonite on the champagne. You can have the gold obsidian on the gold findings, which is like gold, like a yellow gold. We've got the rose quartz on the rose gold coloured findings. We've got the sodalite on the silver, and we've got the white howlite on the rhodium. Not rhodonite, rhodium, and they're on those findings. It makes 2 pairs of earrings, and they're just £2.99 each, which is an absolute bargain. I think so anyway. Camille says, lovely, thank you. Have the rest of the day off. I can't. I've got so much to do. I've got another 4 necklaces to make. Each have lots of sections of chain cut specifically to size, and 17 wrap loops on each one. So I've done my silver colourways. I'm now going to start on my gold, and I'm also going to get a lot of planning and train tickets bought. And I'm expecting some deliveries for birthday things to come. So yeah, a busy day ahead. I might stop and have a cuppa though. Anastasia says, Natalie, they are cute and different. Thank you. You're very, very welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. On Wednesday, I'm going to be back with you. I'm going to be making some little bracelets, really straightforward stringing bracelets, but I think we've got like little crystal nuggets, I think. So if you can come and join me then, please do. I hope I've not missed any questions. If you've got any questions, if you're watching me back on my YouTube, which is Natalie Patton Jewelry, I think it's just something as basic as that, then I'll get notified if you comment, and I'll be able to respond back as soon as possible. If you're watching me on the Totally Beads YouTube, then I will go back and I will keep checking just in case I've missed anything, and you can find us of course on our Facebook pages as well on the Totally Beads website. So until then everybody, I hope you have a lovely start to the week, and I will see you on Wednesday if you can make it there. Take care everyone. Bye.